Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, let's go on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Ryan Passage, 232342.
Good morning, Your Honor. William Hayes, on behalf of Mr. Passage. State your name.
Ryan Passage.
Okay, thank you. Good morning. Sir, if you can just speak up a little bit.
Ryan Passage.
All right, thank you. Today is the date scheduled for the pretrial in this matter. And counsel, do you have an opportunity to speak to the prosecuting attorney?
I did. We're going to set this matter for a jury trial. I submitted a discovery demand yesterday. They have 21 days to respond. They did get me paper discovery this morning. They owe me a bunch of videos and whatnot. I'm not asking for any additional pre-trials or even a final settlement conference. Just give us a jury trial date if you would, please. I assume that they'll get me all the information. If they don't get me all the necessary information, I'll file a motion in the interim. There's one other issue that I need to address with the Tether too after that.
Okay, can we have Mr. Shahjar jump in here, please? And counsel, you may not be asking for a final settlement conference or anything, but the court does set a final conference with counsel to go over jury instructions and whatnot, so.
Yeah, I need jury.
Counsel, your appearance for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Omar Shasher on behalf of the people, PA 6332.
Okay, and so, Mr. Mays, this is regarding Mr. Passage, and so we're going to be setting this for a jury trial. And how many witnesses are the people anticipating on calling?
Yeah, just my understanding, it'll be 2 witnesses.
Okay, and Mr. Mays, I understand that you don't have to call any witnesses, but in the event you are calling witnesses, how many do you anticipate calling?
Yeah, I'll say 2.
So on January 11th, we're going to start that at 9:30 a.m. That way, if we have any probable cause conferences we have to handle, then we can get those handled as well. So I'll indicate 9:30 on both dates. I will also order that any witness and exhibit lists and jury instructions by December 8th. And then we will have a final conference with attorneys. Your client doesn't have to be present unless there's a resolution. So this would just be with the attorneys, and we would do this on December 14th at 1:30 p.m.
I'm sorry, that was 14?
Yes,
No, 1:30.
yes. And counsel, you indicated there was one other matter.
Yeah, so Judge, he was ordered on the Tether at his arraignment that was held on November 1st. He had been arrested October 30th, day before Halloween. He was arraigned on November 1st in front of Your Honor, I believe, represented by an MIDC attorney and ordered to post a cash bond 10%, as well as be equipped with a tether. You ordered that, if this is true, you ordered a Wayne County tether, the Wayne County Jail to install a tether. Judge, I would kindly ask that in the future and in all other cases, to allow for a private option, for a private tether to be used. As this court is well aware, and it's been documented in the Detroit Free Press and numerous articles. When you order somebody to be equipped with a Wayne County tether, they will spend upwards of a week waiting for the tether. Every person has a right to pretrial release under the pretrial release 6.106. And especially after they post a bond, I believe the Wayne County Jail is flagrantly violating due process and by holding people on these tethers because they quote unquote don't have enough. It's my understanding that they get paid for this. If they're getting paid for their tethers, order more. If they can't facilitate a court order, then hand it off to a private agency. But this is just intolerable that they're holding people, and oftentimes for weeks they're holding people because they quote unquote can't install a tether. They're also claiming at the Wayne County Jail that they need to take a lot of time to do this because they need to figure out where the person is allowed to go. And really what they're doing is that they're saying that the person is under house arrest. That's not what's ordered. That's not what's ordered at all. His order is to stay away from the complaining witness in this case. It has nothing to do with house arrest. Where they come up with the idea that it's house arrest is absolutely beyond me.
Well, counsel, there are exclusion zones because your client, and I'm talking about your client's case specifically, is, because the other cases and, the other issues that you're indicating are not before this court, but there's an exclusion zone. So then the tether unit is responsible for making sure that there is an exclusion zone as to where your client is or is not allowed to go, specifically not allowed to go. Further, sir, when were you released?
The 6th of November, I believe.
On Monday. This was on Friday, or no, sorry, this is on Wednesday. And so your client was it was within 1 week, it wasn't weeks and weeks. And I will also note as well that it's come to this court's attention that there are individuals that have had their tethers within a day or two. And this court is required, I'm very familiar with the pretrial release requirements and the bond conditions and the requirement of what this court's obligation is. This court's obligation, in addition to individuals having the right to pretrial release, alleged victims and complaining witnesses also have the right to be protected and feel safe. And this court has an obligation to put forth as many conditions as possible to reasonably effectuate that. As such, the court ordered the bond conditions that it did, and the Wayne County Jail, or the GPS tether through the Wayne County Jail. I did clarify no house arrest, but there was an exclusion zone as to where your client was not permitted to go. So, given all of that, and the fact that there was a weekend in there, I don't know if they applied or put the tethers on over the weekend. That was within a reasonable time frame, based upon, counsel, what you indicated, that it's been weeks and weeks that people have sat there. So this was a matter of 5 days that your client sat there. I understand 2 of those 5 days were over the weekend. I understand, I hear what you're saying. That's been placed on the record. This court's reasoning for the Wayne County Jail being utilized in this matter, because the Wayne County Jail has arrest powers that private companies do not have. And so in ensuring the safety of the complaining witness, that is why this court ordered that tether through the Wayne County Jail.
Judge, when you say that it was a reasonable amount of time and you only had to spend a week in jail, it's clear to me that you've never spent a week in jail.
Sir, counsel, I'm not indicating he only had to spend a week in jail. It's a reasonable time. What I indicated was that this was ordered on November 1st. Your client was released on November 6th. And I said that was 5 days. 2 of those 5 days were the weekend. And I don't believe that the jail affixes tethers over the weekend. I don't know that for sure. What I indicated was that it was a reasonable time based upon what you stated on the record, that you've known individuals to go weeks and weeks with having to sit and wait for a tether. That is what I stated.
And insofar as the GPS exclusionary zones, what they have told my client from the jail is that his house is outside the exclusion zone. The rest of the world is the exclusion zone. And that is completely unlawful. He is under house arrest according to Wayne County Tether Unit.
So that
he was allowed without permission to come to my office yesterday. So what I'm basically saying is I'm begging the court.
Hold on, counsel, please. Let me just review something. On the pretrial release order that this court signed on box for provision U, GPS tether, Wayne County Jail, no house arrest. So I wanted to review that to make sure that that there wasn't an issue on our end, and there's not. So that would have to be some communication with the Wayne County Jail as to why it's indicating house arrest, because this pretrial release order is clear, no house arrest.
And I appreciate that. What I'm telling you, Judge, is that the Wayne County Jail Tether Unit is highly irresponsible. They don't care. They don't care about what you say.
Hold on, counsel, I'm not going to allow that argument or any other arguments to be made right now when there isn't a representative from the Wayne County Jail or any legal counsel from the Wayne County Jail to address that with the court. That issue is not before the court moving forward. Your client has a GPS tether. The court has confirmed that it's no house arrest. So if there has to be communication to clarify with the Wayne County Jail, that's where that would have to be.
Understood. What I'm begging you, Judge, is that in the future, because his case at this point, it's moot. He's out of jail at this point. But when you impose a Wayne County Jail tether in the future, you are knowingly doing that, understanding that the Wayne County Jail ignores your orders regarding house arrest and will place a person in house arrest, and that they will take their sweet time getting around to the tether when there are dozens of private facilities out there that can do the exact same thing and allow the person to get out of jail immediately, which I believe is a constitutional right. So when the jail is ordered to do this, you are giving it over to an agency that is highly irresponsible and violates constitutional
And
rights.
again, I said, I'm not going to go into all these arguments. There isn't anybody here on behalf of the Wayne County Jail right now to dispute or agree or what have you. What I'm also indicating is that I'm aware of certain issues that have occurred with the Wayne County Jail. I'm also aware that there are private agencies. This court does utilize private agencies. The court does not utilize the Wayne County Jail tethers specifically. The court goes on a case-by-case basis as to, bless you, as to the degree and level of supervision and protection that is necessary based on certain cases. That is when this court determines which tether unit is going to be utilized. And I've already explained the reasons why this court ordered the Wayne County Jail tether to be applied in this manner.
Thank you, Judge.
Bonding conditions are continued, and we'll see council back on December 14th at 1:30.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Have a good day.